All right, here we go. Um, we are not going to do the regular. We're not going to do the week. Everyone's been talking about the week. Um, we're going to go maybe a level. We're going to go up higher. We're going to go up a little, maybe a little higher,
Yeah.
a little more conceptual. Um, talk about our side. I wouldn't even say it's just like the Dems, because we're not necessarily like locked in with a party like that. I would knock doors for an independent if they were, speaking truth and they were
Yeah.
the furthest to the left we could get in like a deep red state. So it's really about like folks who are on the side of sanity, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And like, not even just Democrats too, journalists. I think anyone
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
in institutions like,
Hmm.
people, the president of Harvard, like anyone who is in the fight against authoritarianism, I think they need to behave a certain way with a certain level of authenticity. And if they
Yep.
really think we're in a threat level moment, they got to behave that way.
Okay, so let's go like somebody. Let's go like somebody we think it is and somebody think it isn't. Let's
Yeah,
do that.
I
Let's do
think that's
that.
good.
What's somebody? The easy one is someone you think who's not doing it the right way.
Um, I think right out the gate, someone who needs to change their approach, who misread the mandate, is Newsom.
Yeah.
In some
And
ways,
out of the gate is exactly right, like right after the election,
yeah,
right?
I think like not like to the degree where it's just like he's a total disaster, but it's like you platform Bannon, like you're not doing what Buttigieg is doing when you're going into their ecosystem and
Right.
talking to their people. You platform Bannon, you say things like the Abrego Garcia thing is a distraction,
Which is
which is
crazy that he said
insane.
that.
It's just like
That is so crazy he said that.
it's just like we need people in this moment that don't need to poll test before they say what they
Mhm.
believe. We need people
Mhm.
to actually be forceful in their beliefs and not just go with wherever the wind blows. And like we talked about last time, like Trump, he stood on his business was lies, but he stood on his business, right?
He did.
He stood
He
on his
did.
stuff and tried to move the
He's a
needle.
reliable liar.
He's a reliable liar, and it's just like you
Yeah.
gotta yeah, you can't cede ground on stuff on what's
Right.
right because
Right.
it might not be polling, and then it turns out later on Abrego Garcia is actually majority one. A
It's
lot
pulling one.
the
Well, that's the thing is like so Newsom is supposed to be, I'm gonna reach out to the right and I'm gonna try to bridge to the right. And then he goes, this Abrego Garcia thing is a distraction. But if he was really listening to the right, they're concerned about it too. Like this is what people are yelling at Republicans for these town halls is about this dude getting kicked out, right?
yeah
So if he really had his finger on the pulse and was talking to people on the right, he would know they actually care a lot about this guy getting kicked out.
yeah
So the other person you mentioned though, who's doing it right, is Pete Buttigieg.
yes
Pete Buttigieg recently went viral with his interview he did with who was he on with? It was part of the
uh
like
yeah
the
like that
manosphere.
yeah he was on with the I think it was I forgot the exact name of the pod. It's just one of those
Yeah,
manosphere
but like one of
pods.
those one of the white guy pod the young white guy pods basically that they're moderates, not like super far to the right, but his and he goes on Fox News all the time. The clip that went viral is him imagining a future because so many people are like Trump's
Yes,
not doing this right, Trump's not doing
exactly.
that right, and here comes Pete Buttigieg and he goes, let me tell you about a day in the life of somebody living in an America that I want to build. You wake up in the morning, and you talked about commuting to work and using mass transit. He
Yes.
talked about your kids, going to daycare and like the price of goods, and he's talking about your paycheck and all this stuff. And he paints this picture over the course of, it's a good, 2, 3 minute description of a real life, regular ass person. And
Yes.
they're like, buying that. Like immediately the
Yeah.
guy off camera was like, clip that.
Yeah, he said clip that. That's fire. And yeah, it was
Yeah,
called the Flagrant Podcast. That's what it
there
was
you
with
go.
those
Yeah,
comedians, and they always try to play coy, act like they're not
right.
political people. But basically,
Yeah.
he went on there and he painted a vision. He painted a vision. He was
Hmm.
clear in that. He showcased exactly what a democratic vision would look like, a positive one, not just contesting what's going on. And
Yep.
most importantly, Homeboy did not need a script. Like this is the stuff I'm talking
Hmm.
about mainly. Like
Hmm.
it's not even as much about specific criticism of individuals because it's just so many different people that do this. But like if you need a script, Go be an actor. Go into theater. You know, straight up. Like I'm done with performance artists, bro. Like
I like it. I like it.
I'm
I
done
like
with
it.
performance
That's good.
artists.
That's
Like if
good.
you don't believe what you're saying, or
I agree.
you need someone to inform your political instincts, and
Yep.
you need to wait to a consult. You know, like Whitmer, you didn't know to walk out the Oval Office the second you walked in there and there was cameras. I don't know
Yeah,
what to
Whitmer
tell you.
with the
Yeah, I
books,
don't know what to tell you
holding
there.
holding the
And
books
she's
up. Yeah.
great in her own way. I just thought it was a really
Right.
bad moment. But the point is, like,
Don't put
just
yourself in that situation.
broadly speaking, yeah,
Yeah, you don't like the guy. You don't want want to work with him like that. You know that he's using people for photo ops and stuff. So why go in there and do that to yourself and do it to your state, right? Because she's not just her, the politician. She's representing the state of Michigan. And so you go in there and you basically say Michigan is down for this. And so many people are like, we're not down for that. Gretchen, you got it wrong. You
yeah,
got it really
and
wrong and you tried to hide from it.
I do get like, okay, she wanted the funding for that base, you
Hmm.
know, 30,000 jobs in Michigan. I understand that, but during COVID, she still would talk, you know, trash talk Trump or combat what he was
Yeah,
doing, but still get what she needed. It's just like a calculated change where people have not caught up to, like
right.
they're still operating off of like a November
Yeah, the old
2024. Like
yes,
there was a vibe shift. No, like you got look at the polling now. Like if you really want
it's
to,
over.
like, it's over. He's cooked. He cooked himself.
And
We're
look at
back.
other people who have gone to him and tried to bend the knee and they still get kicked in the ass. Look at Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I
Jeff
know.
Jeff Bezos got clowned. Okay, he got clowned so hard off of a rumor from some
Yeah,
sub department brand that no one's ever. I didn't even know about this Amazon haul. I didn't know about this, and it was something that they might do. And they found out about it. Trump found out about it, and he gets clowned in front of America. And then Bezos goes crawling to him afterwards and apologizes again. And he's just going to have to keep doing that over and over again. So you
exactly.
going to him and saying, I'm gonna, yes, I'm with you, or we can build a bridge. It's just gonna, Trump is gonna knock it down. You're gonna have to rebuild it. He's gonna knock it down, and
Yeah,
all the while you're gonna keep losing and keep losing.
yeah, and you know you know, like look at Zuck. You
Mhm.
did all that stuff,
Yep.
bro. You still got the FTC trial, dog. You're
You
in a
still,
courtroom still, no matter what.
you
Did
still got it.
case didn't get
All you,
dropped?
it didn't get
All you did
dropped.
was
All you
embarrass
guys,
yourself.
exactly. All you
You
guys
know,
are behind him on
it's
inauguration
just
day.
like
Google too.
stop
Google caught a
trying.
case
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Google got a case. Stop trying to appease this guy. It
It
should have
doesn't
been
work.
you stand on the truth. Like
That's right.
stop
Yep.
trying to appease the man just because you think people, you know, you think that's what's popular or not. You stand on the truth. The polling will eventually always catch up with the truth. So stand
Yep.
on it. Don't wait till the winds move. You know, now we're going to see
Yep.
more resisty type stuff pop up. But from day one, when he does something wrong, you call it out. You don't need to wait to say,
That's right.
"What does my consultant think?" or "What? When should I
Right.
give a scheduled speech on this?" Hop up on a TikTok, hop up on a video, do a vertical video, speak to your
Hmm.
constituents. Like you know, just it's just maybe it's because I've been in more of these rooms now lately with the new stuff I'm doing, where I'm running into a lot of like humble brag. When I'm running into a lot of like these
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
performance artists, where it's like
Yeah.
they don't believe what they're saying. Some of them
No.
are, you know, they'll smile in your face
Off
in the green
camera,
room,
right?
and then
Off
they say
camera, they're
something
like, this
radical.
is bullshit.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
say something radical on the screen, and then it's just like I'm seeing a lot of this in these politicians. Like we need authenticity. We don't need people who are pretending to be just because you think democratic politics. We don't need any careerists. If you're a careerist,
Yeah.
please go again. Go into theater, dog. Go make a movie.
Yeah.
Go do
Yeah.
something harmless. No more actors
And
in this game.
wait till politics is back to normal. Okay, we'll fix
Yes.
everything and get it back to a point where you can go on screen and pretend again. The other thing, the other person is Marie Gluesenkamp Perez.
Hmm.
Marie Gluesenkamp Perez is one of four Democrats in the House who cross over and vote for the SAVE Act in the House.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
SAVE Act only passed by two votes, right? So it only passed because Democrats crossed over to vote for it. She's in Washington State, pretty blue state. She's in a pretty I would say purple now district, but it was red like it previously. And so she's doing these things that are these calculations
Yeah.
where she's doing it to appeal to moderates and people on the right. She does not believe in this
Exactly.
law, okay? And she goes to her town hall and just gets blown up. She gets completely blown up by people on the left, people in the middle. because the Save Act is pretty brutal. Like women who are married who change their names are going to have to like bring more documentation in order to vote. It obviously it is directed against migrants, and it's really a terrible bill. And her defense is that she voted for it because she thinks it's not going to pass in the Senate. He voted for it because she thinks it's not going to pass in the Senate. And then she goes, I did it because I need to build political capital. What the fuck? Like I understand general strategy. That's a time that's politics in the 90s. We are done with like that time is over. We're not in that kind of politics anymore. You need to vote for what you believe in and you will be rewarded. Stand on your principles and your people will stand with you. If you vote for strategy, you will get dunked on by both sides. The right will dunk on you and the left will forget your name come election time.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of being in politics if you're just gonna like again, you're just a careerist doing this for power? Like that's what that
Right.
tells me. Like, do stand on business for what's right. You're in there
Yep.
for a reason. Like, if it hurts your career, then it wasn't worth it. Like, you can go
Right.
make a significant amount of money and have more power elsewhere.
That's right.
After this, like, I just don't understand the mental gymnastics people are doing here to justify these moves and to justify greenlighting terrible policy or defending it or acting like we don't need that preface of another example, just like the people who have that preface of, oh well, I do believe in tariffs in theory, but it's you don't need to preface it with that.
You don't
Just
need, it's
lambast this
crazy.
man.
Things are crazy right
Like,
now.
things are crazy. Just talk
Yeah.
to Americans the way you talk to
Right.
them. Like, oh, I agree with President Trump's goal of boxing in China. No, if that was the goal, he wouldn't tariff the entire planet. He would have
Exactly.
tariffed China and then worked
Right.
with all of the countries on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
including the
Mm-hmm.
uninhabited penguin ones. He tariffed, and he would try to box in China. Not
Yeah, but
so.
that wasn't the goal.
It's just like
The
it's
goal, yeah.
asinine. It just shows
Yeah.
the truth is caught up with the polls have caught up with the truth now, and we're seeing he's literally flirting with below 30%,
Mm-hmm.
around 30% or below 40.
Yep.
Lowest he has the lowest approval in 7 decades for a president
Mm-hmm.
at this point in their terms. It's Eisenhower, and it's like, okay, now we're gonna see more people be more forceful, but it's like y'all got to stand on
Okay.
business from the beginning.
Who do you let me ask this. Let me ask this one. It's kind of controversial. What do you think of the the on the steps of Congress with the leader and what's his name? Who is it?
Who is
But
it?
yeah, Cory Booker
What
and
I saw the pictures.
Jeffries.
What do they do? Where they just like stand in there? What do they do? I saw pictures
It
of
was
it,
like
but
a 9 hour stream thing, and he
oh,
was just like sitting there and regular people clothes, talking
relatable.
talking to the regular people, regular people, basically a bunch of aides, I think. And then they had people come up over time, but it obviously didn't break through, right?
Yeah, I
It
mean,
didn't break
at
through.
least they're doing something. Like
At least they're trying.
I at least respect people that try, and do
Okay,
stuff
okay,
that's
good,
within,
good,
like,
good.
to try things. Like, it's just more or
Yep.
less the ones where it's just like you're not doing much. And again, like, I know people are watching this like, oh, you guys are just, we're not just attacking Democrats. We're kind of just trying to give constructive. We're not using the
Right.
100 days. We're talking about, like, we already, if you want to talk about the 100 days of Trump, we did that in the last episode. You guys can go watch
Did it,
that.
and I did another video
And then
too.
another video on that. It's you can
Ahmed wrote an
you can
article
read an
about it.
article on it. It's just we're giving constructive criticism at the 100 day
Yeah.
mark. Who do we think is fighting this the best?
Hmm.
And it's gonna hopefully move them, because
Yes.
I think everyone here watching agrees. Like, we need people who are just fighters and
Yeah.
actually authentic and believe in what they say. Because, like, Harris just did that speech too. I understand she's trying to still figure out what she wants to do next.
May run for governor,
May run for
right?
governor, but I appreciate she gave a speech.
Same.
I think
Yep.
I think I saw some people criticizing it for some reason,
Whatever.
but like, I do want to do more less scripted stuff. I do
Yep.
want her to go on more pods. Like, I'd rather have a long form hour just discussion with her. I'm glad she's starting to speak
Hmm.
out. And I'm glad people who believe, if you believe this is a crisis, come out and say it.
Yeah.
Behave that way, and then hit the pot. Like, I'll do what Buttigieg personally, I think, he's the best. He's the best
He
communicator,
he
man.
really
Like,
is, man. He won me over, dude. He won me over with because he is so real, and
yes,
and he's and the podcast format. it like melts away some of the like talk track. You know, when people are on a podcast, like a long form one, it's like the first 15, 20 minutes, like they're still working out the like
Yeah.
the talking points, you know? And then they just kind of like ease into it. And Chill Buttigieg with the like, you know,
The beard. He's got a
the
beard now too.
beard.
You know.
Oh man, I'm buying it, dude. I'm super
I'm
buying
in.
it, man.
I'm
I'm so
Buttigieg
buying
pilled.
it.
I'm Pete pilled,
I
dog.
really am. I was not feeling him. Okay,
That's good.
I thought he was good. I thought he was good, but I also felt like he was corny, and I thought by going on Fox News he was trying too hard. But now that he's like detached from the Biden administration, he's like his own dude. Because when you're a part of an administration, like you have to use these talking points. And he's winning me over with his ability to make it all sound very normal and
Yeah.
appeal to like quote unquote like normal people.
And
But who
and
else
did
do
you
you
see
think is
him?
doing it well?
Well, just one more thing on him. Did you see him
Yeah.
do that like where he was one guy versus like 20 Republicans or whatever?
No, he did that?
He did one of those Jubilee things where you like go
Get
and you
out of
sit down
here.
and you
Okay.
just talk to a bunch of people. And
Yeah.
he didn't condescend to anyone. Like he has this ability to not condescend and like talk to people
Yeah,
who
yeah.
disagree with him and explain it. And again, it's
Yeah.
because the main thing that like my criticism and what we've talked about, it's just if you need a script, get out. Like if you
Yeah.
need a script, don't be in the game
I
because
agree.
you're
I
not
agree.
real enough to be in this game because you just don't know the stuff. Like Buttigieg can sit there and talk because
Hmm.
I know that man's going home and
Yeah,
he's reading and
that's
he's
right.
up at
Yeah.
night and he cares about this stuff. So yeah, so on
Yeah.
Buttigieg, I think he's one.
Okay, so let's do rapid fire in
So
the last like 30 seconds here. So AOC and Bernie are doing their thing.
they're doing their thing.
Okay. Undeniable. Who else do you think? Who do you think is doing well?
I do think Booker obviously catapulted himself with that
Yep.
24-hour
Yep.
thing. He's now I think I saw him as number two as a front runner on a
I
poll
don't
for
know. I think
2028.
I
It'll
think
probably dissipate,
it'll
but
fizzle out. Yeah.
Chris Murphy. Chris
Oh,
Murphy's
Chris,
doing great.
yeah.
Chris Murphy's been doing
Chris Mur
great.
Chris Murphy a couple days ago. Chris Murphy with the beard. I'm buying the beard, man.
Oh,
I'm
he's on the
buying
beer.
it.
I didn't catch him recently.
But he's got the shadow, you know, because that shows that you're like, you know, you're like you're kicking the
Oh
politician
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
like,
It's you're
you
just
know, clean
you're fresh
shaven,
out.
and you're
Yeah, yeah.
like in the fight, you know, time to shave, you
Five
know.
o'clock shower. I'm in the trenches. I don't got time to
I'm
shave.
in the
I'm at
trenches, man.
war. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Who else is doing it?
I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, I mean, there's I have a little
Pritzker,
bit more.
Prit,
Yeah, JB Pritzker gave a great speech.
JB. Yep.
I think Crockett's pretty popular. I have my own critiques of some of the stuff.
Same,
I
same.
think I just
It's a little clickbaity. We're getting a
no.
little,
I mean, he's doing great.
yeah.
It's just some of the stuff like so you don't want to give any fodder to the right. So I
Right,
would just
right,
advise like
right.
if I was their advisor, just be like, hey, like just on some of the stuff, like Governor Hot Wheels was, might make people laugh. You saw that?
No.
Oh, well, that's one of my. She called Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels.
Oh, this is like yeah. This was like a while. It was like
Yeah,
a
it was
month or
like a
two
few.
ago.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
but
yeah,
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 I mean,
yeah.
just little things like that. Like it's just you don't want to give fodder to the right.
No,
But
you don't.
overall, it's
You
good. She's
don't.
a fighter, and again, it's also proof
Yeah.
that the stuff doesn't matter, right? Like things
Yes.
go. There's so
Right.
much going on that you can just say things and it's fine. But I think Crockett's a
Shout
fighter. I
out
think
to independent media that is this doing well. The podcasts are starting to climb up.
yeah,
The Midas Touch guys, the Bulwark,
yes,
Pod Save Bros are getting better.
they're
I think
doing
everyone's kind of
pod safe.
finding their footing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and
independent
you see
media.
politicians start to go on these shows now, which
Yeah,
is a great idea.
Brian Tyler Cohen, MSNBC is trying to
Yeah.
get their footing again now with the new
Yep.
lineup they're
Yep.
doing. And it's all anyone who's just in the fight, like just be real. We need more realness now. We need less,
Yep.
and that's what all this pod is about. Like, just if you're, like I think everyone needs to demand authenticity from their leaders, and I
Yep.
think in 2028 we just need, that's why like I'm really liking Buttigieg right now. It's just because I would really like him to be president. And I know I'm
It's
not sure
too
if he would
soon,
win.
man.
I'm not sure if he would win. I mean, we'll see. But like of all the people, I just want someone who lives that life, who
Yep.
actually lives that life, and is not just being an actor. And there's too many other people where I see them speak, and I'm like, I don't know what you believe,
That's right.
and
That's
I
right.
think that's really
And that
what we
should be a
just need.
poison pill right now.
Yeah. So
All right. Good talk, man. That's good. That's good. I love that. I love that like these Fridays turn into forget all the news. Let's talk about how we're feeling.
Yeah, yeah. Let's like I think we can do more of that, like more of the
I love it.
higher level stuff.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.